stop me now.
What is going on, y'all? Y'all already know what time it is. It is Friday. We got Friday Night SmackDown on right now as we speak. And man, oh man, is it a good one right now. We currently have Tiffany Stratton and Alexa Bliss taking on the team of Michin and B-Fab. But you already know what it is. Look, 4th of July is right around the corner, and yo, you gotta represent the country, man. You know what I'm saying? It is our country's 250th birthday since we gained our independence back in 1776 after those redcoats blew a 13-colony lead. Yeah. So if you want to rep your country, being the greatest country of all time, being the USA, be sure to click on the link in the description of this video and be sure to click the tab that says TrueVictory.com. They are veteran owned, veteran operated. They have everything from t-shirts to croc decals, gym bags, the list goes on and on. Once you have found what you're looking for and once you're ready to check out, be sure to use code NOMERCYSPORTS15 for 15% off your entire purchase. Don't worry, the code is in the description of this video as well. Now, oh man, we got a great episode lined up for tonight. Man, oh man, I'm excited for it. We got WWE United Champions tomorrow afternoon. We got the World Cup going on. We got Messi being at the top of the list for all-time career World Cup goals, but somebody is closing the gap fast. We got a lot to talk about. I'm so excited for it. Y'all already know what it is. Let's get into it, baby. Let me talk to you. Why? Because, ladies and gentlemen, we are live, and man, does it feel good. So I would normally have some people joining the show. I wasn't able to send a link out because I got a hollow threat from Facebook. Whatever. That's not the point. The point is I'm dealing with some password issues. I'm going to get everything resolved, and I'll make sure that the people that come onto this show are able to stay updated on what's going on. But I don't know about y'all. I had an awesome week this week. I hope everybody did as well. What is a big flex that you would love to flex right now? Let me know in the comments. Me, I am former captain of the Alcatraz Penitentiary Swim Team, baby. Yeah. So about a month or so ago, my wife and I flew out to San Francisco to meet a good buddy of mine from my Navy days. We had a whole ton of stuff planned. We toured Alcatraz. We saw Fisherman's Wharf. We went to a Giants game. Like, bro, we had an insane blast. But speaking of San Francisco, why? Because there are some wrestlers that are from the Bay Area. More specifically, I'm talking about Jey Uso, who is currently in the finals of the King of the Ring tournament. Now, if you're an avid follower of WWE like myself, you know how the King of the Ring tournament goes. If you win the King of the Ring tournament, you are guaranteed a world title shot, much like if you win the Money in the Bank ladder match. So, Jey Uso is currently in the finals for the King of the Ring tournament, but there is somebody that he has to go up against. Somebody that has probably the most aura when it comes to their walkout. Even their theme song alone, probably for modern day wrestling right now. That man is Oba Femi. Woo! Woo! That man is big. He is bad, and whoo! I'll tell you what, if I were to see that man down the dark alley, nah, I'm tapping out immediately. That man is 6'5", 320 pounds of damn near pure muscle. But since Oba's been brought up to the WWE main roster, he has actually had some run-ins with the Beast Incarnate, or as Pat McAfee likes to say, the alpha male of our species, Brock Lesnar, baby. So, obviously, Oba and Brock squared off. Oba got one on Brock at WrestleMania. It would seem as though Brock was going to look to retire and, call it quits after his WrestleMania match. But I guess due to some behind the scenes type stuff, Brock said that he wanted a longer match with Femi instead of it ending in just shy of 5 minutes. So, Brock gave us the idea that he was going to retire. No. Brock would come back during an episode of Monday Night Raw when Femi was doing his thing, walking out to the ring for an Femi Open Challenge, and Brock would proceed to attack Femi. Anyways, and Brock would proceed to attack Femi, meaning they would get a rematch. What was it? I think it was... Yeah, I believe it was at Backlash, and Brock immediately went on the offense. It took Brock 7 F5s to beat Femi. Like, that's how insane Oba is. But I digress. Let's fast forward to tomorrow, the finals of the King of the Ring match between Jey Uso and Femi. Will Brock Lesnar interfere in the King of the Ring final match between Jey Uso and Femi? Yes, he will. I, honest to God, think he will interfere with Jey Uso and Femi. Meaning that we're going to get the culmination match between Oba and Brock at SummerSlam. Honestly, this is a battle of behemoths I cannot wait for. Yeah, this is a battle of behemoths I honestly cannot wait for. It is going to be good. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be brutal for that matter as well. I mean, come on. We're talking about 2 6'5" guys that are 300 to 320 pounds. Honestly, if that ring doesn't collapse, I will be shocked. I'm honestly shocked that even though they had the first match of night 2 of WrestleMania, that ring didn't collapse. And I honestly called that. But, everybody was like, oh, it's the first match of the night. Who gives a fuck? These are 2 behemoths we're talking about. Like, my God. In any case, though, like I said, I really think that Brock Lesnar is going to interfere in the King of the Ring finals match between Jey Uso and Femi. Why? Because this is easily going to be a build-up to night 1 of SummerSlam. If Oba wins, obviously he's going to go after the OTC Roman Reigns, the World Heavyweight Champion, to add the World Heavyweight Championship to his already impressive resume. If Jey Uso wins, we already know that he's going to go after WWE Champion Cody Rhodes to bring more gold back to the bloodline. I honestly don't care who you are or what you have to say about the bloodline in today's current WWE. I honestly think the bloodline has been one of the best storylines in modern day WWE. Like, look, don't get me wrong. I liked the fact that Cody Rhodes finished his story. I like the fact that, I like the fact that Cody Rhodes did finish his story at WrestleMania when he beat Roman Reigns. Yeah, it was all cutesy, but now essentially Cody Rhodes has basically become Hulk Hogan. Drew McIntyre had the WWE title for a month, maybe 3 weeks at best. And then for whatever reason, which would have been a great match if it was Drew McIntyre and I believe Gunther for the WWE Championship, guess who the title went back to? Cody Rhodes. Like, come on. What are we doing? Jesus. Give the title back to Drew. Let him hold on to it for a while. My God. But be sure to check out WWE Night of Champions tomorrow afternoon in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Now, yeah, it's going to be tomorrow night in Riyadh. If you're here in the States, or it's going to be tomorrow if you're over there in the Middle Eastern territory. But if you're here back in the States, it is going to be tomorrow afternoon. Hey, it's going to be a great time. It's going to be a fun time, and I'll tell you that. But hey, let's move on to the FIFA World Cup. Let's talk about it. I mean, because we have two of arguably the best players to, like, hell, that I was growing up watching. And I'm talking about Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi. And now somebody else is finding their way into that equation. That is Kylian Mbappe. Whoo, man, this kid is something else. He's only 27 years old. You'll fully understand why with what I'm about to say. So, Messi now stands alone for all-time career World Cup goals at 18. And obviously, he's going to be adding more to that, depending on when Argentina plays and everything like that. I'm sure Mbappe probably added more to his list because France did get a win today, if I'm not mistaken. If I am, let me know in the comments. But I will say this. We all know that the debate between Ronaldo and Messi for the greatest of all time, that's going to be a thing. We all know that, hey, maybe Pele is the greatest of all time. There's no doubt about that. I will fully back that Pele is the greatest of all time when it comes to soccer. If you have a different opinion than that, let me know in the comments. In any case, though, so Messi currently stands alone at the top of the list with 18 career World Cup goals. Ronaldo is not that far behind as he has 15. Mbappe isn't that far behind as he has 16. So, could Kylian Mbappe take the top spot from Messi in career World Cup goals? I honestly think he could, but make no mistake about it. With how good Messi is, it really wouldn't surprise me if Messi just widened the gap. Now, I understand that the World Cup is every 4 years, much like the Olympics are, but Mbappe is only 27 years old. So by the time that the next World Cup rolls around, Messi could very well be retired. And then on top of that, Mbappe could not only take the top spot from Messi, but he could also very much well widen the gap. And Erling Haaland could very well find himself on that list as well. He's only 25 years old. He's in his 20s. He's got his whole life ahead of him. So honestly, for soccer moving forward, I know the debate has always been between Ronaldo and Messi, but we could very well see a debate between Erling Haaland and Kylian Mbappe. And honestly, wouldn't surprise me. It would not. Because we are talking about two insane players at the top of their game right now. Messi is still at the top of his game, and so is Ronaldo. But it's nothing but respect between all these players. Ooh, okay. You know what? I may have to do some research. If you want to provide me some more information, but hey, I'll do some research when we take our first commercial break. But Diego Maradona, okay, I will look him up for sure. For sure, man. I will for sure look him up. But yeah, it's just, man, it's crazy how just the players that we've seen for soccer and what's been going on with the FIFA World Cup. But speaking of the FIFA World Cup, we got probably the greatest thing happening on social media right now. If you haven't seen what's been going on with the games that started in Boston and now are taking place in Miami, then I suggest you jump on the train immediately, because the Scots came to the East Coast and damn it, they invaded it in the best way possible. That's not an insult. That is a fact of life. Yeah, Look, I'm talking about the Scots came over from their country and drank the city of Boston dry. I am not kidding you when I say that. Multiple downtown bars in Boston were literally saying that they had no beer left. The Scots were even saying like, yeah, all that was left was Bud Light, thinking that Bud Light was a fucking slur. It was awesome. If you haven't seen it, I highly suggest you go to TikTok. If you have it, oh, Maradona was one of the two joint winners. Ooh, okay. Hey, thanks for the free education, my man. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. When you don't know something and people like this are, like, hey, here's who he is, here's what he did. Love it, man. Ooh, okay. I see your point now, man. I see your point, Steven. I love it. But back to what I was saying, the Scots invaded Boston. They drank the city of Boston dry. They were the Tartan army was pulling up with their bagpipes to a Boston Red Sox game. They invaded that stadium and turned that baseball stadium into a goddamn soccer stadium. I fucking love it. Then, oh, sorry. Cheap ass headset. I don't know. Okay, fuck it. But yeah, so after Boston, it would be announced that the next game for Scotland would be down in Miami at the Hard Rock Stadium where the Miami Dolphins happen to play. The next game up would be Scotland versus Brazil. Unfortunately, Brazil would get the win over Scotland, but hey, that wouldn't stop the Scots from having a good time down in Miami. They coned every statue. They put a cone on every statue in the city of Boston, then proceed to go down to Miami and put a cone on practically any statue that they could find. Now, it took the city of Miami about 24 hours for them to finally get some traction under their feet with the Scots visiting and everything like that. Like, gee. Okay. But yeah, honestly, for me, I really think that the Scots should have gone to Tampa Bay first before immediately going down to the city of Miami, because honestly, the city of Tampa Bay definitely would have welcomed them with open arms, and they would have had more than enough beer on ice to keep the Scots entertained. That is for damn sure. Yeah, no, for sure. They would drink the entire island of Cuba dry. That is how insane they are. But yeah, like I said, Scotland, you should have stopped at like Gainesville. You should have stopped at Tampa Bay, Orlando, St. Petersburg, Sarasota, Clearwater. Look, the list goes on and on. Hey, you know what? Scotland says they want to play America for a drink-off to the winner. Hey, I know the perfect state that Scotland can go to. They can come up here to Chicago. We'll give them a preview, and then they can find their way up north to the state of Wisconsin, because Wisconsin and Scotland, I would pay money to see in a drink off, because Wisconsin is a different breed on its own when it comes to drinking. And I live in Chicago. So, yeah, man, give me a drink off between Wisconsin and Scotland. I want to see every Scot in that state trying to drink every city in the state of Wisconsin dry. Oh, man, you coming with some serious heat. I love it. I fucking love it. America versus Scotland in Denver. Let's go. I'm all for it, baby. I am all for it. But man, so I haven't even gotten to the question yet because there's been so much excitement right now with what the Scots have been doing. Come, well, okay, whatever. Thought third time was going to be the charm, but fuck it. But yeah, look, Scotland being here in the USA, drinking cities dry, everybody having a good time, pulling up with their bagpipes. Like, bro, if if uh if I lived in a house and next door there were Scots and they woke up at 6:30 in the morning playing their bagpipes, and I'm still hungover. One, yeah, I would yell at them like, yo, it is 6:30 in the freaking morning. Two, I'd follow that with, is the beer at least still cold? Because, whew, them Scots, they know how to party. And honestly, I have been loving every single video I have seen on, not only on social media, but on TikTok alone. Like, just Scotland having a good time here, playing their bagpipes, bringing everybody together. Like, yo, can y'all stay here? And can y'all stay here after the 4th of July and after the World Cup is over? We fucking love y'all, man. And I'm Irish. But yeah, honestly, it's gonna suck after the World Cup is over because the withdrawals that the Europeans are going to be going through, because one, they've tasted some of our fast food restaurants. They have literally, I kid you not when I say this, people are literally rating Arby's a 10 out of 10. What? Damn, Terry. Me personally, I wouldn't take this disrespect. But if it is respect, hey, you let it be known, Terry. But let's move on from the Scots. Let's move on to baseball. Actually, let's move on to the stadium that the Scots invaded their first and second night in the city of Miami, the Lone Park Depot Stadium, where the Marlins play. Mind you, the first and second night that's the Scots were in Miami, they filled that stadium to a capacity that hasn't been seen since the WBC, which was 4 months ago, by the way. Marlins fans, y'all got to step your game up. But in any case, right now, the Miami Marlins, and we're going to get to this team and we're going to get to this other team in just a bit. The Miami Marlins are currently sitting 7 games above the New York Mets, who the Mets have the second highest payroll going into the league this season. Hey, that's what's up, Terry. But yeah, the Mets had the second highest payroll going into the league this season. They're currently 13 games under 500 right now at 34-47. And the Mets finally decided to fire their manager after this type of start. Honestly, bro would have been gone after the 12-game losing streak. I know it was early in the season when that happened, but fuck out of here. Anyways, we're not talking about the Mets. We're going to get to them in just a bit. We're talking about the Miami Marlins. They are a very young team right now. They currently sit in third in the NL East. As the All-Star break approaches, could the Marlins make a run at a potential playoff spot? Now, obviously winning the NL East is currently out of the question for the Marlins, but getting a wild card spot really isn't that far-fetched for them. If you look at the wild card standings for the National League, they're right there. Like, they just got to keep playing good baseball. They got Yuri Perez. They got Sandy Alcantara Jr. They got a real good dynamic duo. I don't remember their names, but they were talked about this morning on MLB Central. Anyways, they were talked about this morning on MLB Central. But yeah, Marlins have a very young core, very young team. I like the direction that they are going in right now. Hopefully they can actually step up and still keep doing the right thing rather than, bringing in. Yeah. Yeah. This is true. This is true because keep in mind, this was also the same Marlins team in the 2010s that had Marcell Ozuna, prime Giancarlo Stanton, Christian Yelich, JT Realmuto, Derek Dietrich, all on the same team. And they all said, hey, and the Marlins front office all told them to go kick rocks. How Alcantara and Perez are still with them right now is kind of beyond me. But I assure you, once we get to that trade deadline, it wouldn't surprise me if Perez and Alcantara were dealt. It really wouldn't surprise me. So right now, all I can say is Marlin fans, enjoy the season that y'all are having right now because it's only a matter of time before your dynamic duo and your batting lineup gets dealt and your top two pitchers get dealt. So we'll see what happens there. But for right now, we are going to take our first commercial break. When we get back, we got some more baseball to talk about. I'm, for one, excited for it because the All-Star break is coming up, and this is when winning games start to matter. Are you saying the Marlins are better than the Rockies, or the Rockies are better than the Marlins? So, but anyways, we're going to take our first commercial break. When we get back, we got some more baseball to talk about. We'll be back in just a minute, y'all.
can stop me now.
All right. Welcome back, y'all. Welcome back. All right, so before we went to our first commercial break, we were talking about the Miami Marlins and them potentially making a playoff run, maybe getting into the wild card. But yes, going back to this comment, I really didn't know what I was looking at. I wasn't sure if it was Marlins are doing better or Marlins are better or the Rockies are better. But Terry followed it up with this. Yes, the Marlins are better, but for the Rockies, there was a time. Key phrase, there was a time when they made it to the World Series back in 2007. One can only dream. You absolutely right, my man. You absolutely right, Steven. One can only dream. I mean, hell, look at it like this. 3 years ago, it was about 3 or 4 years ago when it was 3 years ago. In the NLCS of 2023, the Arizona Diamondbacks beat the LA Dodgers, who were heavily favored in that series to move on to the World Series. Classic choke job from the Dodgers, am I right? Oh, man. Yes, sir. Yeah, be sure to try it, man. And be sure to try the Concade coffee. And be sure to use code VILLAINS15 for 15% off your entire purchase, man. I mean, me personally, I'll probably do the 9 beers, 9 dogs, 9 innings challenge. That's just me. I'm just saying. She probably was doing a crown check. There's no denying that. She probably was. Speaking of that, speaking of this comment right here. So I get a phone call from the dental studio that put my new crown in, that put my second new crown in. For those tuning in, for those tuning in, first off, a big shout out to the 80 viewers for tonight's episode. Thank y'all. Love every single one of y'all, and thank you for tuning in for tonight's show. So, for those that don't know, I went to a dentist's office to get a crown replaced because when I went to San Francisco, tried some Swedish candy that was like Sour Patch Kids, Swedish Fish, real sticky to the teeth and everything. Next thing I know, a permanent crown I had installed, God, I don't even know when. Probably in my early 20s. My boy's on! Anyways, so a crown I had installed in my early 20s was put in, had it for so long, tried some Swedish candy, and all of a sudden the crown came out. So appointment gets set up. I go to the dentist's office to get the new crown in. Get stuck with a Danny day one. The dude was literally acting like he had no clue what he was doing. So, needless to say, some shit happened. Next thing I know, I swallow the crown that was supposed to be installed into my mouth. Thankfully, a new one got ordered. And thankfully, the people that I had knew exactly what they were doing. They put that thing on at about 45 minutes flat. I was out of there and able to see the end of USA versus that was my cleaning. And just everything went smoothly. That's all you need to know about that. So today I get a phone call from the same dentist office. They're like, hey, we're just looking to see it, because I kid you not when I say this. When I accidentally swallowed the new crown that was supposed to go in. They straight up told me, hey, if you do a number 2 in the bathroom, make sure you look through it. Maybe the crown will pop up. Nah, I ain't doing that. Hell no. So thankfully, a new crown was ordered. It got put in the right way. Everything feels good. It looks good. I honestly don't know. It's a fucking piece of plastic from what I know. But I kid you not. They literally told me that if I take a shit to look through it. Here's where things get interesting, Steven. Here's where things get interesting. I got a phone call from the same dentist office that I went to, literally asking me if I have been searching around my fecal matter to see if I have found the said crown that got swallowed. And the one thing they need to know is if it actually passed through my digestive system. They want me to get x-rays to make sure that it passed through my digestive system. Well, the crazy thing is, I believe it was Vinny or maybe one of Andrew's friends that this is a good one. But if you have seen The Land Before Time and you know the main villain in that movie is Sharptooth, somebody literally said hashtag shittooth when I told this story. I am not bullshitting when I say that. I am not bullshitting. But all right, so I'm not getting an x-ray done anytime soon just to see if they saw that a crown went through my digestive system. Nah. So we talked about the Marlins. Let's move up to where I currently live right now, being Chicago, and let's talk about a team that has made some insane moves and shocked me this season. The Chicago White Sox, who for the last 2 years had two of the most embarrassing seasons. People 2 years ago filled Comiskey Park. It is Comiskey Park to me. I don't care what they fucking call their stadium. They filled Comiskey Park to the brim like it was a goddamn playoff game for people to witness the White Sox having the most losses in an MLB regular season. That is something you don't crowd the park for. That is embarrassing. In any case, though, the White Sox will make some moves. They got Antonocchi. They got Vargas. They got Murakami right now. They also brought in Nishida. And now, in my opinion, they got the Southside Samurais going for them right now. Their bullpen is looking great. And now they are currently in first in the AL Central. I'm not bullshitting when I say that. Yes, they may be tied with the Cleveland Indians for first place in the AL Central, but right now, the way that it looks, if you have the ESPN app, the Chicago White Sox are currently in first in the AL Central. For the last 2 years, they have had the most embarrassing seasons, and now they are currently first in the AL Central. Can the White Sox keep riding the high that they are on to a potential playoff spot? Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if they could. They are winning games right now. They brought in the right players. They are winning games. They have a good bullpen, and more importantly, they're actually winning games. My God. The White Sox being this good is something I did not have on my 2026 bingo card, because solely for the last 2 seasons alone, just because it was like, oh, well, you know what? The White Sox suck, so they should be at the bottom of the barrel. No. It is the Detroit Tigers. It is the Kansas City Royals. Like, what? The Royals and the Tigers are the two teams in the bottom of the AL Central. Meanwhile, the White Sox are at the top. That's what you're telling me? I mean, hell, if you look here, actually, bring it up right now. Let's see here. Okay. So I was going to say, let's take a look at the wild card standings right now. The White Sox are currently the team. Like I said, they're currently first in the AL Central, but it's the Cleveland Indians that currently have the second place spot in the wild card. It's ironic that the Houston Astros close out the third spot because you got the Toronto Blue Jays, Texas Rangers, and Athletics hot on their tails right now. But obviously, then it's no surprise that the top spot for the wild card is currently to the Tampa Bay Rays. So, but look, honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if the White Sox were to make a playoff run this season, or even if they just got to the playoffs. Just, hey, you erased what you were supposed to be 5 years ago. But it is what it is. So we're gonna keep talking baseball right now. Let's talk about something that happened a few days ago. And honestly, in my opinion, this is a bigger deal than Jazz Chisholm sucking on a lollipop while playing defense in the field. I really don't know why people were making a big deal out of what Jazz Chisholm was doing. Are we serious? Are we that? Is it that serious that he's sucking on a blow pop? Come on. No. See, what happened between the San Francisco Giants and the Miami Marlins is definitely a bigger deal. In one of the games during the series that the Giants were facing the Marlins, the Giants were down 2-1 in the top of the ninth, and Rafael Devers got a single, got on base, and the manager decided to pull him to put a pinch runner in for aggressive base running. Understandable. You're trying to win the game here, trying to get more wins, trying to get closer to a playoff spot. That didn't sit well with Rafael Devers. No. So he decided, no, you're not going to take me out. I'm staying in. I'm going to run the bases. Bro, I understand you're 29 years old and everything like that, but when you're trying to win a fucking game, oof. Honestly, the way that the Giants are looking right now, I believe they are, let me double check. Yeah, so they're currently in second to last for worst record in the league. Wouldn't surprise me if it was before or after the All-Star break, because the Giants have a really solid baseball team. They just can't put the wins together. That's the only thing. Like, I know they have 33 wins, but they are currently above the Colorado Rockies and currently in second to last place in the overall standings. Absolute embarrassment for the San Francisco Giants. But let's get back to the game between the Marlins and the Giants. Did Devers show lack of respect for his manager when he was subbed out for a pitch runner on Sunday? Yes, the fuck he did. You can issue an apology all you want, but bro, we all saw what kind of player you are when you're trying to win a game and your manager decides that, hey, I want to take you out. I want to put a pinch runner in, somebody that's speedy and can help us tie the game at least. Bro, you don't do that. You were on national television. What are we doing? For God's sake, dude. All you had to do was, if you had a problem with it, take the sub, let the pinch runner go in, and then talk to your manager on the side. Hell, talk to him in the tunnel if you have to. If that bothered you so freaking bad. Look, I don't know what kind of contract the Giants signed him to, but whether it's before, after the All-Star break, or even after this season, they better get rid of Rafael Devers, because that was straight up embarrassment for him. Like, I even saw clips on MLB Central where players were getting star players, by the way, were getting subbed out. And those players, the star players that got subbed out, actually went to their managers and talked to them like, yo, why'd you take me out? It's as easy as that. Like, my God, dude, you showed your true colors on Sunday when, the Giants were trying to get the win in a series against the Marlins. I believe the Giants got swept, but you showed your true colors. You really did. And quite frankly, that's pretty sad. In any case, though, let's move on from the National League to the American League, because, I'll tell you what. We have got somebody that could very well be a front runner for new ALMVP. We got somebody that could be a new front runner for ALMVP. That is Yordan Alvarez. Now, granted, Judge is currently sidelined right now. And I'm going to tell you this, Judge, you better get better. Otherwise, your mother is getting a scathing letter that her fucking cooking is low tier. You better get healthy, my man. Now, don't get me wrong, I like what the Yankees are doing without Judge and Stanton, but the Yankees are Judge's team. He's the captain for a reason. So, in any case, though, Yordan Alvarez is currently top 3. Here are the stats. For batting average, he is second behind Yandy Diaz of the Tampa Bay Rays, sitting at 318. Home runs, he is currently tied with Byron Buxton at 25. For RBIs, he is currently sitting at 56 at the 3 spot behind Dylan Dillinger and Nick Kurtz. For hits, he is currently sitting at 94 behind Yandy Diaz. This man is on a tear right now. Now, the next stat on ESPN.com was stolen bases. That is obviously not Yordan's forte, so to speak. That's not his forte. So, with the pace Alvarez is currently playing at, is he the front runner for AL MVP? Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Like, there's no long answer around this. There's no explanation needed. This man may very well be the new AL MVP, ending Judge's run. I understand Judge is a back-to-back AL MVP, and trust me when I say this, he definitely deserved AL MVP last season. If you really think that Cal Raleigh deserved AL MVP just off of home runs alone, and yeah, catcher is definitely different from playing outfield. Unless he was Yadier fucking Molina behind the plate, Cal Raleigh did not deserve AL MVP last season. But the way that Yordan Alvarez is currently playing right now, he is top 3 in a bunch. You know what? That's not a crazy thing to say because, hang on, let me check real quick. Yeah, he's currently first in RBIs in the league. It's not a crazy thing to say. Like, look, the A's have a tremendous roster. They have a very young roster. It's the ownership. That fucking ownership needs to sell the fucking team. Like, you know how bad of an owner you gotta be when the Oakland weatherman is ripping you a new one on live television? You know how bad of an owner you got to be? But yeah, I completely agree. Nick Kurtz, he is definitely a future AL MVP. But I really think that Yordan Alvarez is definitely going to win AL MVP this season. And I completely agree. Nick Kurtz definitely may be the face of the American League for years to come. The A's team is young, they're loaded. Unfortunately, they have a shit. Their ownership is fucking horrendous. There's no other nice way to say that. So, oh, one of the topics I've been waiting for to get to this evening. Woo! I honestly don't know what is sadder for the New York Mets. The fact that 2 years ago, they signed Juan Soto to a 17-year, $765 million contract, only for them to realize that defense is obviously sold separately. And Francisco Lindor, he's definitely been the guy for the team. He was the guy for the Cleveland Indians. Unfortunately, the Mets got him at probably the worst possible time, if I'm being honest. But in 80 games this season, or you know what, 85 tops, Francisco Lindor and Juan Soto have played a total of 9 games together. And they were supposed to be a dynamic duo going into this season. Now, don't get me wrong. The Mets looked good on paper. But that's the thing. It was on fucking paper. Just because you look good on paper and you have the second highest payroll in the league doesn't mean that you're guaranteed to have wins or have a winning record and be right behind the Atlanta Braves. In any case, they just recently fired their manager earlier today. And look, as the All-Star break approaches, is there any hope for the Mets to save their season after the All-Star break? None. Like I said, just because you have the second highest payroll in the league doesn't mean you're going to get guaranteed wins and be within shouting distance of the fucking Atlanta Braves. Like I said, y'all really paid Juan Soto. Look, yeah, he was a vital piece for the Yankees getting to the World Series in 2020 or 2 years ago. But there's Stanton was on an insane playoff run 2 years ago. There's a reason he won ALCS MVP. And honestly, he probably would have won World Series MVP with the run that he was on. But the fact that the Mets are now starting to realize that with Juan Soto, defense is sold separately. Don't get me wrong. He's a hell of a hitter. Hell of a hitter. But goddamn, I've seen PCA put more effort into the defense that he plays over Juan Soto. This dude is literally jumping for baseballs that are no doubt home runs. At least he's providing some sort of entertainment. But hey, to each their own. The Mets this season right now are showing why they haven't won a World Series in 40 fucking years. 40 years. That was the Mets' last World Series win. Oh, yeah. That is a I got to give the Tommy DeVito. That is a serious list of Hall of Famers with the Kachuk brothers, dad, Picarine. Oh my God. He was a hell of a goalie for the Nashville Predators when I believe he was on the Predators when I saw him when the Blackhawks were unfortunately on their decline after their 2015 Stanley Cup win. Bergeron. Oh God, Bergeron. Bergeron was a monster. Yeah, Patrice Bergeron. Oof. My God. The bro. I swear to God. That is a list if I've ever seen it because, man, if you watched NHL in the late 2000s, 2010s, and even going into 2020, it was something to watch. I swear to God. Yes, 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 yes. Loaded class for real. God, who's their fucking dad? But Matthew and Brady's dad. Yeah, awesome. I know he's a Saint. I know he was like a Saint Blues player. Me being a Blackhawks fan, I gotta hate the Blues, but man, you gotta show nothing but respect for guys that just played hockey for the love of the game. Pekka Rinne, insane goalie. There is no doubt about it. He deserves to be on that list. Patrice Bergeron. Oh my God, one of the core players of who was that 6'9" guy on the Bruins? Oh fuck, that's gonna kill me. It's gonna oh my God. I'll look it up later, but yeah, that is a loaded class for the NHL Hall of Fame. Like, man, memories came back when I saw Bergeron's name because for quite a while, the Bruins were running things in the NHL until the Blackhawks came along. Don't get me wrong, I like what the Nashville Predators did, bringing in PK Subban, still having Pekka Rinne in their goal. Yeah, solid list for the NHL Hall of Fame. But yeah, going back to MLB, yeah, I honestly don't think that there is any hope whatsoever for the Mets to save their season. Like, yo, you are currently 13 games under 500 right now. You are currently in last place in the NL East. The fucking Nationals and Marlins are currently ahead of you by 6 or 7 games, maybe 7 or 8. You are damn near the one team that is essentially the leader of the bottom of the barrel in overall standings for MLB. So the Mets, y'all got to go back to the fucking drawing board this after this season is over, because clearly this season wasn't it. People were actually looking at y'all thinking that you were a World Series fucking team. Instead, you decided to shit the bed. Fucking insane. But we're going to take our final commercial break. When we get back, we got some weekend baseball. We're going to make some predictions. Until then, we'll be right back in just a minute. What?
Just missed with the knee. Bobby willing to stand in the pocket. Now he's getting the timing. Yep. Good left hook.
Nobody can stop me now.
All right. Welcome back, y'all. Welcome back. So, reasoning for the video that was shown prior to the last video of coming back, that was me falling asleep during a UFC fight. And man, oh man, was I on a binge that day. I had just flown back from Chicago because my wife had just accepted a job out here. Again, flown back. I was traveling all day. Came back, did a UFC, or no, not UFC, WWE live stream of, it wasn't Backlash. I can't remember the pay-per-view that it was. So after the WWE pay-per-view was over, I decided to go, leading up to the WWE pay-per-view, it was about 2:30ish in the afternoon, kind of approaching 3 o'clock. Decided to have a late lunch, early dinner, thinking that everything was okay. Let's just say when you've been drinking all day, that's not going to exactly help you out in the long run, because after I had food, went back to my apartment in El Paso, started doing the WWE live stream, took a break. I was thinking, hey, you know what? Maybe I should order some food to help soak up the alcohol that I've been drinking. Instead, I decided to try and tough it out. Did the UFC live stream. Things were going good. Then I believe it got to the co-main event, or maybe the main event. Or no, I think the third fight into the main card. And then obviously, as you saw, passed out. People still tuned in. And I think it was, and I will die on this hill, that it was just people tuned in because they heard the fight was going on in the background, and they were like, hey, if this is the only means of getting the UFC pay-per-view, then so be it. Man, you talking to the former captain of the Alcatraz Penitentiary swim team, dog. That's not very oozy. In any case, though, we got some weekend baseball coming up. I know it's Friday, but we still got some weekend baseball. Let's make some fucking predictions, baby. Saturday. All right, so, oh God, unfortunately, right now the New York Yankees are down 2-0 to the Boston Red Sox. As much as I hate saying it, I'm gonna have to go with the Boston Red Sox in this one, because the Red Sox may be in last place, but the fact that they're getting wins over the first place Yankees, it's pretty crazy right now. So do what you will with that. Yeah, The Rock. I remember that. 3 other people escaped from Alcatraz. Keep that in mind. And they also gave the inmates in there were also giving the guard shit. Whatever. Anyways, next game up, we got the Houston Astros going into Comerica Park to take on the Detroit Tigers. Look, the Houston Astros have a better chance at getting a better jump on the AL West than the Tigers do, getting a better jump on the AL Central. I'm going to have to go with the Astros on this one. Next up, we got the Texas Rangers going into Toronto to take on the Blue Jays. I'm going to take the Rangers on this one. Oh, man. Now comes a game that I'm quite excited for, and I really hope this team wins. I won't go into too much detail about it, but I will just say this. The Cincinnati Reds are going into PNC Park to take on the Pittsburgh Pirates. Fuck Pittsburgh. Go Cincinnati. Fuck Pittsburgh in general, my guy. Anyways, next up, we got the Philadelphia Phillies going into Citi Field to take on the New York Mets. Give me the Philadelphia Phillies. They are currently in second place behind the Atlanta Braves. I don't know what the fuck the Mets are doing right now, but it ain't it. It ain't it. I'll tell you that right now. All right. After that, we got the Kansas City Royals going into Comiskey Park. It might be guaranteed right field, or whatever the fuck it's called. But to me, to diehard baseball fans, it will forever be Comiskey Park. The same way that the Cleveland Guardians are the Cleveland Indians to me. Fucking people are so offended by anything nowadays. My God, you breathe wrong and they're offended. In any case, give me the Chicago White Sox in this one. They have a solid team. Like I said, they got Murakami, they got Antonocci. Their pitching is just wow. Like, it has really surprised me this season. So, give me the Chicago White Sox. Next up, we got the Arizona Diamondbacks going into Tropicana Field to take on the Tampa Bay Rays. Oh, Monaco's making a comeback. Look, as much as I respect the Arizona Diamondbacks, I'm going to take the Tampa Bay Rays in this one. Oh, fuck, what's his name? No. Give me one sec here. Mizorowski. Yeah, Caminero. Whoo! This man is on a tear right now. And then on top of that, you got the speedster being Simpson. If Simpson keeps doing what he's doing and he's able to steal a base every single freaking game, man, he honestly might break Ricky Henderson's steal record. Well, we won't know. So, all right. Anyway, so next game up, we got the Washington Nationals going into Baltimore going into Camden Yards to take on the Baltimore Orioles. You know what? Give me the Washington Nationals. They are another young team as well. They are competing with the Marlins for third place in the NL East. I like what they're doing. Again, they got a solid young team. Give me the Washington Nationals in this one. Next up, we got the Seattle Mariners going into Progressive Field to take on the Cleveland Indians. But from what I'm looking at right now, we got Logan Gilbert versus Slade Caccione. I'm going to have to go with the Mariners on this one. Logan Gilbert is a hell of a pitcher, and he knows how to put it right over the plate. Next up, we got the Chicago Cubs going into Milwaukee to take on the Brewers. The Cubs have been on quite the roll. This is definitely a series that they need to take for the against the Brewers if they want to get back into first in the NL Central. Damn it, give me the Cubs on this one. And yeah, that is me being biased. Next up, we got the Colorado Rockies going into Target Field to take on the Minnesota Twins. Give me the Twins in this one. The Rockies, I respect the wins that they have right now, but yeah, the Twins, they're that much better than the Rockies. Next up, we got the Miami Marlins going into Busch Stadium to take on the St. Louis Cardinals. Miami, as much as I like you, I'm going to have to go with St. Louis on this one. They have been playing such insane baseball. Jordan Walker has stepped up. It wouldn't surprise me if Lars Nootbaar has also stepped up. I'm taking the Cardinals in this one. All right. Next game up, we got the Los Angeles Dodgers going into Petco Park to take on the San Diego Padres. Now, I know the pitching lineup is Yoshinobu Yamamoto versus Randy Vasquez, but who the fuck am I kidding? I'm honestly, unfortunately, I'm going to have to go with the dog turds in this one, mostly because fucking Fernando Tatis Jr. What the hell is your problem, dog? What the hell is your problem? Oh, wait, I know what your problem is. Your fucking confidence got shattered after Aaron Judge threw your ass out at third base when USA played the Dominican Republic in the WBC. If you know, you know. Second to last game, we got the Atlanta Braves going into Oracle Park to take on the San Francisco Giants. I may be repping the Giants, but I'm going to have to go with the Atlanta Braves in this one. But it wouldn't surprise me with the fact that Logan Webb is pitching tomorrow that the Giants take this game. Wouldn't surprise me. And finally, we got a battle of the AL West as the Athletics take on the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Ugh, that is a mouthful. In any case, though, give me the Athletics. They are young, they are talented, they have a great young team. Nick Kurtz is definitely leading that team. There's so many more players that I can name, but yeah, give me the Athletics in this one. So I honestly can't wait to see how this weekend pans out. Like I said, be sure to tune in for WWE United Champions in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia tomorrow afternoon. If you live on the East Coast, it is at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Central Time, it is at noon. Mountain Time, it is at 11. And if you live on the West Coast, it is at 10. Yeesh. Well, I really shouldn't be surprised because I was stationed in Seattle. Went to B-Dubs for a 10 a.m. or I should say 10 a.m. Western start time for an NFL game when it started at 1 o'clock over on the East Coast. So you can obviously know where I'm going with that one. But in any case, that wraps up another episode of the most uncut, unfiltered, and uncensored sports talk show you will find on social media. I want to give a big shout out to the 127 people that tuned in for tonight's episode. Man, it's going to be a fun one next week. I can't wait to do it. But as always, it is Friday night, so I want to be able to give my Friday debrief to everybody tuning in. Look, don't add to the population. Don't subtract from the population. Don't end up in the hospital, dead, or in jail. If you end up in jail, be sure to call somebody whose phone number you know by heart and then proceed to establish dominance quickly, all right? Because that's how jail works. But at the end of the day, have fun. Don't know your limits, but have fun, all right? Don't try drinking a city dry like the Scots did, all right? Alcohol isn't going anywhere. Relax. Have fun. But that wraps up tonight's episode. Until next time, peace